It's a pretty grisly topic that's now pretty mainstream. We're talking about true crime, everything from Dateline marathons to murder podcasts. People cannot seem to get enough. So why is that? Dr. Scott Bond has profiled and interacted with some of the most infamous serial killers of our time.
He is the author of Why We Love Serial Killers, The Curious Appeal of the World's Most Savage Murderers, and he's in town for a one-man show about the fascination with this topic. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Yeah, I mean, the true crime thing has always been around, but it seems to be even more so right now,
Yes.
and more appeals to women, I think. Why is this?
Well, you're absolutely right. The appeal is about 80 or 90% women, which I don't think everyone realizes. And that gets to do, I think, with empathy. Women in particular empathize with the victims, and also a desire to understand the perpetrators, the mind of the unknown assailant who might come after them. The unknown subject, I think, is a fear for a lot of women, and they want to understand it. They want to look for tools and ways to avoid these individuals. Yeah. But the true crime phenomenon, you're right. I mean, it goes back to the pulp publications of the 1930s. But today, it's really high profile, high production values. All of the major networks are involved in it. And of course, social media. This is what allows the true crime fans to embed themselves into these cases and become web sleuths and become even sometimes celebrities themselves. So technology, I think, has had a lot to do with it.
So you were studied as a criminologist. So tell us how you got involved with interviewing and corresponding with some of these most infamous serial killers, like Son of Sam you interviewed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was aware of the fact, and partially through teaching my students, I was a college professor, that anytime I mentioned serial killers, their eyes would just light up, and I knew there was this tremendous interest. And I wanted to explore that, so I started writing a book, Why We Love Serial Killers, and as part of that, I actually got involved and interviewed a number of these people, like Son of Sam and BTK. And the more that I got involved, I began to realize that this fascination is so powerful. And in some cases, these individuals, they're so narcissistic that they crave notoriety. And so the more I corresponded, the more I learned, and it had almost like a snowballing effect. Yeah. And I realized that there is just so much intrigue here. And I wanted to dig in further and get into their minds.
And they liked your interest in
that.
I see.
They ate it up. They ate it up like catnip. Yeah. Absolutely like catnip. And so I spent, for example, an entire day with the Son of Sam, and he was all too happy to go into his life story and explain to me his background. But he's an interesting character in that he claims to be a born-again Christian now. He's no longer Son of Sam, he's Son of Hope. He's a minister. And he actually has a worldwide following, believe it or not. You can't make this stuff up.
It's my understanding that a psychopath can be like a CEO or a serial killer. So what separates that?
Great.
Some people go this way, some people go that way.
Great question. Psychopaths, first of all, are a function of nature. Their brains are simply hardwired differently at birth. They experience phenomena and process information differently. But it doesn't mean that they're necessarily violent at all. But what they are is extremely goal-oriented, and they don't care who they have to hurt to get what they want. They don't mind stepping on people. And so it could be a great background to have for politics, for example, for being a CEO, as you said. But to the extent that you have a craving for violence, then it's the perfect personality for a serial killer as well. Yeah. And about 75% of all serial killers, in fact, are psychopaths.
Yeah.
There's something almost disturbing about the fact that people kind of elevate these people to celebrity status, too. Yeah. I mean, it's really... What does that say about us?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, and there's a fine line, and the title of my book, Why We Love Serial Killers, I realize is a very ironic title, but it gets to this intense fascination and passion for this subject. And I have had many true crime fans, many women, say that this is like a guilty romance or guilty pleasure that they have with these individuals. Not specifically, but the genre, you know what I'm saying? And it has to do with trying to understand things that are otherwise incomprehensible. And I think if you can, then it's not so scary after all.
So maybe this is too much of an academic question, but people are born this way.
Yes.
Where does that qualify on mental illness, and does that speak to how we should be should punish them for essentially their deficiency or their mental illness or whatever you want to characterize it as.
Right. Great question. And according to the American Psychiatric Association, these sociopaths and psychopaths, and there are differences there, but they are not mental illnesses per se. They're antisocial personality disorders for which there is no cure. They cannot be cured. They can be managed, but you are still legally culpable. Just because you have no feelings doesn't mean you're not responsible for killing. And but the thing is, with a BTK or a Long Island serial killer, they know that it's wrong to kill. They just don't care.
Wow.
They absolutely don't care, and nothing will deter them.
Before we let you go, I've heard some victims' families of some of these crimes that get profiled on social media or on podcasts say it's almost, maybe some things will get solved, but it's almost become distorted at the way that people are getting entertainment from their loved ones suffering.
Yes.
What is your thought on that?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And it is absolutely true that any time that one of these stories is retold, either in a fictionalized version or through true crime TV, that the victims' families have to relive this. And that's why it's so important to take their feelings into consideration and not to be exploitative in these things, because there's tremendous harm done there, and as I said, they have to relive it. So we have to always remember that their plight needs to be taken into consideration.
Well, you can check out Why We Love Serial Killers April 11th at City Winery, Chicago. Get more details at Scott's website, and you can follow him on social media. Scott, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Scott.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.